All right, everybody, and welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. And right now, I'm going to say stop in the name of love because we bring to you guys safety with love. I just want to make sure y'all know that, understand that. We're firm, but we're soft. We are demanding, yet understanding. Because when it comes to safety, there is no parameter which we don't fit in. And right now, I just want to tell you, the stop sign has always lost. It doesn't get the respect it should get. It just, Blake, it doesn't get the respect it should get out there on the road.
It really doesn't.
I'll tell you that you're more likely you're not going to roll a red light. Going through the intersection, you're probably not rolling a red light.
No, I can't remember.
When was the last time you slowed down, looked both ways, and just shot on through a red light?
I can't think of one.
Yeah, it's not happening, right?
No.
But you don't have to go very far back in your memory to have slowed down and then kept going for a stop sign.
About 5 hours ago.
Don't say that. You can't say that. I mean, if it really did happen, that's horrible. But honestly, we find that the stop sign doesn't get the much needed respect it deserves, and it is pretty much a universal emblem all over the world. I mean, the stop sign is an octagonal sign that is in red, and it means this is pretty easy to identify. It doesn't matter what country or what words are on there, halt or alto or any of those other words that fit in this box right here. It pretty much means stop. I mean, we get it, but we don't do it. And I'm not sure I've understood why we don't do it. Is it a suggestion? Is it? No, is it? It is not.
It is not a suggestion.
It is not a suggestion, sir. I'm asking for your help over there.
It was clear, and I didn't want to be late for work. And
kind of, does it fall into the idea that because it's not illuminated, that it's not as important? I mean, is that what it is? Is that we don't illuminate it with electricity, therefore it's not?
I don't think that's the case because there is one that's illuminated next to my grandmother's, her old house.
Uh-huh.
And man, I would see people they're going through it 30 miles an hour. So the fact that it was illuminated
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what? That's frustrating to know in because the dangers of the stop sign are incredible, and if you don't yield to them and don't take the time to look both ways, and I mean look, and then look again, because I can tell you right now in a big truck, you may not know this, Blake, but in a big truck, you have the big West Coast mirrors out there, the big mirrors that you get to see out, all the way back, right? You get to look back and see all the way down the trailer. Those huge mirrors create a natural blind spot behind them. So when you look down the road to see if any traffic's company, there may be a car behind that large mirror, and as you look left, you look down the road and you don't see anything, and you look, and if you don't look right again, you may have lost that truck. I mean, that vehicle behind that mirror.
Yeah.
So they create their own natural blind spots. They actually create a very dangerous blind spot in an intersection. In fact, it's been a reason for many of accidents. And I can tell you that rolling a stop sign doesn't allow for that clearance for that vehicle to move through that clearance, that blockage, right? So when you look left, you look right, and you continue on, that it easily can block with the oncoming traffic.
Right. Years ago, I drove for a construction company, and I drove a big Chevy 5500, and they had those big mirrors.
Right.
So.
Yeah, they'll create a natural blind spot, and it can make it very dangerous out there on the road. I just want to. So when you come to a stop sign, look, it's very important you stop behind the stop sign, and if you need to proceed forward, I mean, they don't put the stop sign way ahead of the intersection so that you have to, but there are plenty of times when you've had to stop and then creep forward a little bit to be able to look out in the intersection a little bit better, because there might be cars, trucks, there might be trees, bushes, or what have you, that it makes it impossible to see out into the intersection clearly.
Right.
But it is required that you stop behind, or with the stop sign, 100%. You can't. If you stop beyond that, you haven't stopped at the stop sign.
True.
Did you know that?
Yes, I knew that.
Okay, so if you roll past it 10 feet, come to a complete stop, you really ran the stop sign.
Just a little. by about like 10 feet.
Yeah. But and a lot of times people don't freak out because they know what you're doing. But really, you should stop at the stop sign and then proceed forward safely to find out that the intersection is clear.
Right.
So I mean that's really. But we talk about stop signs and we have some videos of rolling stops. But I want to make sure that that's why I wore the stop sign today, because I caught myself yesterday. I stopped on the other side of the stop sign.
Okay.
You understand what I mean? I was going to roll it, and then I went, oh, no, I'm not rolling a stop sign. Drive safe, Dave. Can't roll a stop sign. So I did come to a complete stop, but unfortunately I came to a complete stop on the opposite side of the stop sign, and which is better than nothing, but it's not really the law. So I kind of let myself down a little bit yesterday, and that is the reason why I'm wearing the stop sign today. Real quick in the news, I want to just bring an interesting story that happened in Wichita this weekend. A guy got in his truck and was leaving Wichita going to Oklahoma City in his truck, and was driving down the road. Cars were flashing him, people were waving and pointing back in the back. And so he finally, after 130 miles, realized it's not the 19 people that have driven by me doing this, waving at me, pointing. There must be something going on back there.
Maybe, possibly.
This can't be 19 hijackers, right? This can't be, the family in the station wagon, with the kids, probably not hijacking me. Pulls over. Guess what? A rider. Okay, you got that hitchhiker. This guy jumped on the back of a tractor trailer, held on to the door handle, riding the ICC bumper down the freeway for 130 miles, just hanging on to the back.
Okay, so he's on the trailer, or
he's on the trailer,
or the truck itself.
No, the trailer.
Okay.
On the back of the trailer. You know where the door is? The doors that open?
Yeah.
They got a handle there, and then they got a bumper, a protective ICC
that
bumper.
You and DJ were talking about this morning.
Yeah, the ICC bumper.
Okay.
Yeah, he's standing on the ICC bumper, holding on to the handle.
For 130 miles.
130 miles. That's over 2 hours hanging on. People are driving up, calling the police, the whole 9 yards. Well, this guy gets arrested, goes to jail for joyriding. This guy right here. They asked him what he was doing, and he said he was looking for his wife, and arrested him for being drunk, public intoxication, and joyriding. He pled not guilty. And got out on a $2,000 bond. I'm not sure I understand that. What now?
Sure, somebody's got a video of it.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think the not guilty verdict's going to fly.
I don't think it's going to stick. But I think they're both Class C misdemeanors. I don't think they really have a lot of jail time. I think they have just like a fine. But seriously, I mean,
that's a long time to hold on to that at 60.
I don't know how he did it. First of all, that takes a little bit of skill set, and the guy had to be terrified, had to be scared. Anyway, don't do that. Don't ever do that. Do not do that. And call 911 right away if you see somebody hanging onto the back of a truck going down the road. I mean, seriously, call 911.
Why did it take 130 miles for somebody to call 911?
I have no idea. I think it was because he was changing jurisdictions. I'm not sure. Because, when you leave there, you got just not very long before you get into Oklahoma. He got into Oklahoma. He did go, I don't have the answers. I'm just telling you, I don't have the answers to this case. And I don't have all the answers. I'm just stating the facts. Just trying to state.
I'm glad it wasn't one of our drivers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't. It's not the driver's fault. It's not the driver's fault. I mean, but.
Well, no.
But after 19 people are waving, hey, you got look back there. I mean, yeah. Unless he was going so fast, he just drove by everybody. There weren't a lot of people catching up to him.
I find that hard to believe.
I do too. I tried. All right. I'll tell you what. When we come back, we got a great interview with Ryder in just a second. And we will be back right after these messages, and we'll jump on with a great interview in just 1 second. Be right back.
You're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. BCB Live covers freight. Here we are now at 21% of record freight being rejected. News down in Texas. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We had another $1.5 million seizure. If ever there's a time to do a pre or post trip, it's if you're doing something wrong. Weather, traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to some traffic and weather with Buckle Up Bob. You can kind of see where the visibility can be compromised a little bit. Again, right where that rain is.
And most importantly, safety. One of the things that we must do is make sure that safety is the number one thing that we focus on.
Going into an intersection yellow is not the way. That's to clear an intersection, not to enter an intersection.
Tune in weekdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can watch BCB Live through LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live.
All right, and we are back here on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. I got John Matthias here, the National Sales Manager at Coop by Ryder. Now that is Coop, right? Not Co-op. Which how do you say that, John?
Yeah, that is Coop. It's a play off of Co-op, but I think Coop just sticks a little bit more.
It kind of got that cool feeling, kind of little hip hop jive going on with the name.
Yeah.
All right, John, we're here to talk. First of all, tell us who you are real quick.
My name is John Mateos, and I'm the National Sales Manager here at Coop by Ryder, based out of Miami, Florida.
All right, so you didn't quite get hit hard by Ian, but y'all are definitely affected negatively over there in Florida, right? Our prayers go out to everybody out there in Florida right now for what's going on.
Yes. Some areas definitely got hit. A lot more, as y'all know, Cape Coral on that side of town, Fort Myers. Here in Miami, thankfully, it just missed us. It went west and moved up north. So we got the rain and the wind, but thankfully it was just that here on this side.
All righty, so let's talk a little bit, John, about we know all about Ryder, right? Everybody in the United States knows Ryder for many reasons. You need to rent a truck, that's where you go. You go to Ryder to rent a truck. But now there's Coop by Ryder. Well, first of all, you want to start with what is it, or you want to start with the need? You tell me how this came to be.
Yeah, sure. So we'll start with how Coop came to be. So Coop was started within Ryder as a proof of concept. It actually was tested out in Atlanta. There were 3 employees that started off. They're still with Coop to this day, and this was about 5 years ago. So it turned into, in the positive sense, it turned into this monster solution for the industry. A new concept in the industry, the whole peer-to-peer truck sharing concept. And it's grown threefold year over year, and we expect it to continue to grow moving forward as well. So again, 5 years ago, proof of concept, 3 employees. Now there's over 100 employees, and it's doing extremely well in terms of servicing renters and helping out fleet owners as well make revenue on idle equipment.
All right, so help. So I kind of see where it's going. So why don't you tell us where the need was, what and how these 3 people created this in order to make this work, this equipment type sharing?
Sure. So sharing of equipment is not anything that's new, right? People were always sharing equipment somehow, some way. There was not just any coverage on it. And if you think about idle equipment, they say about 25% of the fleet sits idle at a time. And so Ryder had so much demand for equipment, and the supply, obviously, Ryder can only rent out Ryder equipment. So this whole truck sharing concept, that's why they call it like the whole Airbnb, Turo side of things. It was to connect fleets that were sitting idle, help them make money one way or another, and connect them with renters that were needing equipment. So that was a solution provided, again, taking care of both ends of the equation there.
Okay, so you let's start with Airbnb. You use that analogy. And it's
Right.
pretty easy to use Airbnb. I want to go somewhere
Yeah.
and stay. I log in, I pick a spot, bang, I'm there. I can lock in a room. Are we talking about the same type of ease with this Coop program?
Definitely, definitely. Now, onboarding is a little bit different, of course. It's all business to business. So it's not like you can show up with your credit card and ID and rent somebody's 26-foot box truck. But the concept is the same. I mean, it could be midnight. You could be sitting at home, browsing to see what's available for you to pick up in the morning. So the visibility is 24/7. And I always do say it's as easy as booking a hotel room or booking an Airbnb. Once you have your account approved, which I'm sure we'll get into, once you have your account approved, you can book literally on a national scale. You put in your reservation, and the fleet owner either accepts or denies the reservation. But you can do it at any point in time, and you can do it from your cell phone even.
So this isn't the Rider Rent app, right? This is a different app.
No.
This is a
Right.
totally different platform, right? That we're talking about.
100%. Yeah.
And you're facilitating this, John. So really, when you come on here and talk to us, and you want to get people involved, you want both sides of the equation in the mix, right? You want people
Definitely.
that have equipment to think about this as an interesting and an opportune moment to make sure that they can generate money on that equipment, and also you got people that want to rent, right? So you have both sides of the equation. You're just the middle guy connecting them, right?
Right. Yeah. So we're the platform in the end. What we provide is, and again, I'm pretty sure we're going to get into this. What we provide is the security for the fleet owner. They end up just owning and maintaining the asset, but we run the whole rental business for them. And on the renter side, we provide that ease of renting equipment as well. It just so happens that it's somebody else's equipment.
Yeah, it's a truck, or I mean, like I like to call it, it's a truck. It may not have,
it's just not ours.
it may not have rider stuck on the side of it,
There you go.
but it is a tractor, or it is
Right.
whatever it is that you're renting, box truck or what have you. But it is equipment. And when you need a tractor today or tomorrow, you don't really care what color it comes in, right? I mean, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing we talk about all the time is price, proximity, availability. Who knows? Dave's Logistics down the street may have that truck you've been looking for a month, but it's literally down the street. It's covered within the Ryder Coop platform. And
Right.
again, Coop is a division of Ryder. So like you were saying, it's not Ryder's equipment. It's Dave's equipment, John's equipment, anybody's equipment who is listed on the platform can actually rent out to these renters.
So let me and before we go any further, John, real quick,
Yeah.
you really got to be vetted by Ryder in order to do this, right? I mean, I got to have, pretty much have a Ryder account in order to make this work, right? If I want to do on either side of the equation, is that correct?
So it's separate from Ryder in that aspect, but we have our own vetting process for the renters, and we're told that we're actually more strict than Ryder. Obviously, it's not our equipment, so we want to make sure it's protected. On the owner side of things, anybody can list equipment. So it could be an entrepreneur coming into the industry. It could be a large private fleet. It could be a leasing company, which those are our three sources of equipment: investors, leasing companies, and private fleets. On the renter side, they go through a very strict vetting process to make sure they're legit enough in order to rent the equipment. So it's aside from Ryder in that aspect, but in other aspects, we utilize Ryder's infrastructure for sure. But we have our own internal onboarding team.
So, and I'm going to tell you, this sounds a little bit more futuristic with the next generation of being able to jump on the phone. Because I'm going to be honest with you, John, I'm not the greatest at jumping on the phone and using all the cool apps. This is a next gen type step in the trucking industry. Would you agree? Young people, this would be somewhat seems like it would appeal to the young people a little bit more.
So it does. One thing I do say, we use the Airbnb comparison just for simplicity's sake. But what we have that is an addition is, for example, we have an entire sales force. That's half the staff is a sales force, and they're on both sides of the equation as account managers. And so you could even call or email me, and I'll go out and find what you need, and I'll set up the full reservation for you without you even touching your phone. So we facilitate that aspect of it, but you are correct in thinking that way for sure. But we have an entire team that puts together deals on a national scale. It could be hundreds of units for one renter, and we take care of that for them as well. So there is the platform. It's great, works well. And then we have our entire sales team that works up the deals as well.
Oh, and I do like concierge service. I mean, that's what we're talking.
I'm going to steal that from you. Here, I'm going to write that down.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm all about a little concierge service. Because I think that's what you're talking about here, and it makes you feel good, right? A little personal level, somebody that you can go to solve your problems or whatever is you need when you're out of town or whatever. Man, I think that's important. Hey, so let's talk about where's the number one market right now for Coop, and right now. So be honest with me, where are we hitting hot?
California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. So I would put Texas, California number 1, Georgia, Florida 3 and 4.
And what do you mean they're the hot to rent, both rent and rental? I mean both renter and rentee.
So that is just based off of rental days. So right now, if we look up Coop's data, the hottest markets on Coop right now in terms of rental days, obviously supply and demand, are those markets. In terms of up and coming, Coop is national. We went national in February, but some markets are more developed than others. The Northeast is going to be big. Chicago is going to be big. Colorado's another market that's going to be really big. We've been getting into Colorado. It's just those other states I mentioned are more developed. We've been there longer. So those states are right now the hottest, but there's so much demand in these other regions. We just can't rent what we don't have, right?
Yeah, I know. Let's all be honest. The trucks out there, they're not there. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, they're not there to go rent, right? They're not there to go rent unless you have this solution in place.
There you go.
Because you can't. You call Ryder right now and you need 100 trucks. You're not do what?
Yeah, you're right. They're not going to have it probably.
It's not going to happen. I mean, that's how tight capacity is on trucks. But you are saying, John, the trucks are out there.
Yes.
We just got to share them.
There you go. Yeah, and share them within our platform that keeps it legit, covers everybody, and makes the experience seamless. I mean, you could call several of your contacts and say, hey, did you ever share your truck with another company? They probably did, right? And some probably do right now. But this gives them that protection. So you're absolutely correct. The units are out there. Every time I go to an expo, people say, but there's no idle equipment. Well, there is idle equipment. We're just letting them know about this solution.
So I'll tell you what, John, I'm gonna jump right to it. BCB is the safest station in the nation. We're about safety here. How is Coop handling safety when it comes to this platform?
Sure. Yeah. So the safety aspect, let's talk about on the renter side. So we vet out the renter. We check their DOT score. And we also check their Duns & Bradstreet. Duns & Bradstreet obviously is more on the financial side, but the DOT score is absolutely critical. And so we have our own metrics internally that we approve or reject new accounts. And it's really based off of that DOT. And so from a safety aspect, we vet out the company as the renter account.
Wow. So honestly, if you aren't safe out there on the road, you may not have an opportunity to go and rent with Coop, right? I mean, if you aren't wow, I didn't. So y'all have turned people down based on their safety score. Is that what I hear?
Yeah, we have our own internal metrics, and we're always making it better. But we have, based off the DOT records, we justify what's their operational risk factor, right? And so based off of that, plus the Duns and Bradstreet, which is the financial record credit score for the company, we determine if this is going to be a good renter or a bad renter.
Wow.
Now, things happen. I mean, y'all know this better than anybody. Depending on what happened, depending on the frequency that happened, we do kick people off the platform, as rude, whatever you want to say that sounds. We got to keep the protection for everybody. That includes the drivers, the renters, and the owners, and for rider as well, right? So we do boot people off the platform. If it's a bad renter, we give them a chance, we talk about it, but depending on what it is, we'll boot them off. If it's a bad owner with really terrible equipment, that's obviously not safe. And so if a renter shows up and says, hey, this equipment isn't what they said in the listing, there's this and wrong, we'll investigate it very, very deep, and we'll determine if that renter has the safe equipment to be rented out or not.
No, I like that.
It's constant. Yeah, we don't just sign them up and then it's a free for all. It's constant.
No, I like that. I like the idea. Look, I don't want dangerous guys out there on the road anyway. I don't want them renting equipment. I don't want them buying. There's probably a reason why they don't have equipment if they're not safe out there on the road.
Right. And so they'll think, hey, Coop, new concept, let's sign up and get the equipment. Well, hold on. It depends. It depends if you qualify to have that rental account. It's an awkward conversation, but it's a conversation that we need to have.
It's a real conversation, John.
It's a real conversation.
Yeah, most of the real ones aren't. Yeah.
Right. I just had someone reach out yesterday. They're wanting to rent some trailers. I sent it to our onboarding team. They came back to me and said, hey, John, sorry, but according to their DOT records, they did not qualify for a renter account. And, I mean, to not sound cliche, but it is what it is. So,
John, there's a couple of aspects to this that are exciting for a number of reasons. Yeah. And one of those things is this allows even the small guy to play a big part into getting equipment, right? And because let's face it, if you're a huge trucking company with a large, account, and you have a better opportunity to get equipment, you have a lot more. And I can, if I have a rider account, I can put a little bit more pressure on rider, right?
Sure.
Because I lease 150 or 300 or 1,000 trucks from you. I have a little bit bigger say. It sounds to me like what you're doing is you're kind of leveling the playing field and allowing equipment for whomever needs it that's qualified to get it. We have an opportunity to utilize equipment that's not being utilized.
There you go. Exactly. And one thing that I'm working on as well within Coop is handling and creating these strategic partnerships. I think there's a lot of opportunity to work with brokerage, for example, that have all these carriers, but what's missing, maybe they're power only, what's missing is the trailer. So it's giving the chance, whether it's large or small brokerage, whether it's a huge owner operator or smaller, starting off or not, it gives them all a chance. And like you said, it's leveling the playing field. That equipment is available for you, the rate for someone, it's listed there. So they're able to utilize that. So that's actually coming from startups and small business, family businesses. I mean, I love the large accounts, don't get me wrong, but what really excites me are taking care of those smaller accounts, getting people going in the industry for sure.
Yeah, and that includes, and obviously we're not just talking about tractors here, we're talking about trailers too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, for example, it could be an owner-operator. He has, 3-4 trucks. What's missing are the trailers. He can't, for some reason, get trailers elsewhere.
No one can, John.
Come through Coop. Yeah, well, there you go.
No one can right now. They're difficult to get. All equipment is difficult to get, and I think we have equipment out there that's not being utilized, and I think there's a cool and fair way to make that viable. Hey, so let me ask you a quick question. There's how does the rating feature on the app work, and what are some of the app features you would like to talk about before we get out of here? What are some of the app? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so the rating, it's similar to Uber in the sense of once the reservation is completed, both parties get to rate each other. Oh, and nice. So the owner rates the renter and the renter rates the owner as well. So that's how the rating comes into play. and that's what's displayed there. You can browse as a guest on coop.com, and you'll see the ratings for each of the owners. And before the owner accepts a reservation, he sees the rating for the renter as well. So it's a two-way street.
So everybody gets to look at the 5 stars and 4 and 5 stars as the other guy.
Exactly.
And I like that because I like the idea that, you know what, they're good, they're talkative, and that they offer a friendly conversation, and that the ride was good. Because I have done that myself in the Uber app. Hey, so
it's a great feature. People love it.
How can this change business? How can this change? This sounds like it could be a game changer in the business. Don't you believe that?
Yeah. I mean, it has been, and what's exciting is that from both ends of the equation here, it's lowering that barrier of entry to get into trucking, right? The truck rental space, if I recall the number correctly, it's a $36 billion industry, just truck rentals in the U.S. And so again, on the owner side, it's allowing entrepreneurs, investors, existing companies expand into truck rentals or give them an extension. And that completely changes the game in terms of supply in the U.S. On the other side of the equation, it's giving people an additional way to rent equipment. It's giving them 24/7 availability to make decisions, and it's getting them going when they need it. Someone can book something now and pick it up this afternoon if they make that connection with the owner and the owner's okay with it. So it gets people going quickly. It's been a game changer for small companies, medium and large, to be honest with you. You might be surprised, but we have a lot of leasing companies listing on our platform because it gives them that reach. So it's actually very interesting, again, on both sides of the spectrum.
Wow. I was going to say, how do you, they're not actually competitors. You're going to be working with partners. It doesn't really matter if they have equipment to lease out or to rent. You're just offering a platform for everybody to go grab it. That's very cool. Hey, John, I appreciate it. If anybody needs to reach out to you or you want to find out about it, how do they do that?
Yeah, so my email will be right here at the bottom. Feel free to email me. Go to coop.com. And to sign up is extremely easy. But, I'm going to use that term that you said, concierge service. Feel free to reach out to me. And whether you're an owner or renter looking to get in the industry or just wanting to learn more about it, reach out to me and we'll definitely get you going.
Well, I appreciate it, John, man. I want to thank you for coming on and letting me know a little bit about this because I find it intriguing, fascinating, and a great opportunity for all that get involved in it. It makes it easier in a sense, and it's a great idea. John, I'll tell you what. Before our guests leave, I ask all of our guests to state their name, who they're with, and that you're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Can you do that for me?
Of course. My name is John Mateos. I'm with Coop, and you're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
All right. Thanks a lot, John. Hey, we'll have you on again soon. I do appreciate your time and your energy, and what a cool idea. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's John with over there at Coop. Man, what a cool platform. What a cool idea. Rent sharing and doing the things necessary to keep this country moving. A great entrepreneur in that sense. All right, I'll tell you what, guys. We will take a quick break, and we come back. We're going to talk a little bit about safety in just a second. But remember that when we do come back, we do this on Tuesdays. It is Trucking Tuesday on Reach Across America, and BCB Live joins in strength and energy with Reach Across America to do Trucking Tuesday, and we will have the safety message right after this.
the biggest fear Gold Star families have, that their child will be forgotten.
Because everyone has a story. There's a story behind every name that you see here.
It's important to teach not just kids, but everybody.
We need to never forget freedom wasn't free.
Their sacrifice is not just our past, it's our future.
Join the mission to remember, honor, and teach. Visit wreathsacrossamerica.org.
There you go. And this is Drive Safe Dave here at BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Double check Dale.
Double check Dale joining us. And Blake, man of the boards. Hey, listen, we showed that today because this is Trucking Tuesday on Wreaths Across America. And BCB likes to join in on Trucking Tuesday to have a safety segment because it is important, right?
Always important. Always important to have safety.
What is the safety topic today?
You know, safety topic this week, we've been talking about dangers of following too close.
Absolutely.
The dreaded tailgating. The dreaded tailgating. You know, tailgating severely limits your stopping time. I mean, just decreases your space. And so if something happens to that vehicle in front of you, they stop suddenly, they brake check, mattress in the road. Doesn't leave you the time to do anything other than run over them or hit them in the back. And so just got to back off. Just got to own the space between you and the vehicle in front of them. Stay out of their bubble.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now that rear-end collisions are one of the leading causes of accidents in the United States and some of the most deadly.
Costly, without a doubt.
Deadly, costly, all of it belonging to driving too close, tailgating, and not paying attention. There's no way that you can be going down the road, driving within 1 second of another vehicle, and it hits something and you not hit it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. You've got to think about it. You've got to understand how dangerous it is, how important it is that you back off and create that safe area between you and the car in front of you. Look, your job is to control that space in front of you. That out, they always talk about the out. Yeah. I'm telling you, the out is that area right in front of your vehicle.
Own that space.
Own that space. Control that space. Make it safe for you, everybody around you, the people in front of you, the people behind you, and even in your car or in your truck. I'm telling you, that space is primary. It is responsible for that space and that space alone out there on the road. And when inclement weather hits,
you got to increase that space even more.
You got to increase that space even more. Understand that when you go, I get down there on the freeway, I go out there on the highway, and I'm going to tell you right now, everybody's driving too close.
Just about.
Everybody
gets it too close.
Back off. It's for. I mean, that's why we see these pileups.
Yep, these chain reactions. It's
because nobody can. Once that vehicle in front of you is. I'm not talking about hitting the brakes. I'm talking about hitting something. When they hit something, you can't help but hit them.
That's right.
All right, that's it. That is your safety message brought to you here on Trucking Tuesday with Wreaths Across America. All right.
Let's look at some videos.
Let's look at some videos.
See what we got today. You know, just following too close. You know, that's exactly what we're talking about. We don't have the space, the time to come to a stop if that car in front of us stops. Just have to back off, own that space in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, I understand you may want to pass or you may want to get around this vehicle going slower than you or what have you, obviously. But you got to understand, you'll want to back off a little bit and then get behind the vehicle that's passing.
Next up, you know, multiple lanes. Got to own that space in front of us. Got to control it. We're too close. We're 0.7 of a second. You know, speed's pretty good. I think we're under the speed limit a little bit, but still have to own that space in front of us. Back off a little bit. Create that space and then keep that space.
The only guy doing it right here is this truck going to come up here on the right here. Look at this guy right here. Look how far he has between him and the vehicle in front of him.
Yep.
That's owning the space. That's understanding, even in heavy flow of traffic, that's understanding you have to be back off. Us in this position right here, wow, sad state of affairs, not doing it right, way too close to the vehicle in front of us.
And again, you know, we're coming probably up into a little bit of a construction zone. We just gotta recognize we're too close and take that action to back away from it. Get a safe following distance. Just again, too close here.
How do we tell ourselves? You know, because so Dale, look, honestly, you're out there, you're running the day, you're doing 500 miles today. You're going to do this at some point.
At some point, I probably am. But I got to recognize it, and then I just got to say, hey, I'm too close. And if I have in-cab coaching, I've got to listen to it. I've got to take that help where it comes from.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you right now, even if you don't have in-cab coaching, if you don't have these things, recognizing these situations is dangerous, recognizing that, hey, I need to react accordingly here because I'm too close. Because if it's okay now for 10 miles, then the next car it's going to be okay for 10 miles.
Yep.
And then the next car after that it's going to be okay for 10 miles. In fact, you've done most of your journey doing this right here.
Yep, there it is.
There it is. In a nutshell, you've got to create the good habits, the great habits, the best habits in order to be successful out there on the road.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, Dale.
Oh.
Dale, I'm wearing it today in honor.
I know.
In honor of doing it the right way. And what did we do wrong here?
We didn't stop. And stop means stop. Doesn't matter where, when, what time, what the weather conditions are. Stop means stop.
It doesn't matter. Nobody's looking. I mean, okay, so, Blake, let me ask you a question. Do you know what the definition of integrity is?
I don't know the Webster's, but yes,
Yeah.
I understand.
I'm going to tell you.
I know. Yeah. I know.
What is the definition of integrity?
It's doing the right thing when nobody's watching.
Especially when nobody's watching.
Okay.
Even if nobody's watching.
Yeah. Because you know what? It doesn't matter. You're going to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do.
That's right.
And here it is. Just because nobody's around, just because you don't see any cars, stop sign means stop.
Yeah.
I'm wearing it on my chest. I'm wearing it because I love you. I'm wearing it because it matters. It matters.
It does matter. It does matter. Intersections are dangerous. We see it every day.
Intersections are extremely dangerous. All right, one more.
Oh.
No, wait. Don't tell me it's another one.
You know, and we sometimes kind of half-heartedly joke about it, say, well, if there was a red light there, would you run it? And there are two flashing red lights there with a stop sign.
There's a stop sign, two flashing red lights, and traffic.
And he ran it. I mean, you can call it a slow roll. It's running a stop sign. I mean, that's just how it goes down. There's no
This
ticket.
right here is this is to me evidence of these habits that we talk about, things that we got to work on and we got to create good habits. I was telling Blake earlier today, dude, I wore the stop sign because yesterday I was in a hurry to get home. Because my wife wanted to go on an errand. She wanted to go somewhere, so I was in a hurry to get home. And I got to a stop sign, almost rolled it, but I went past the stop sign and came to a complete stop. That's not right. No, it's not. You got to stop on either this side or even with the stop sign.
Yeah.
And then proceed forward until the lane is clear. You can inch up there in case you need to.
That's right. I mean, and stopping twice if the next one doesn't count either. So
and stopping twice. And you don't have to stop 3 times at this one because there's a stop sign and 2 blinking lights. You could have just stopped once.
Yeah, and it's because it's a dangerous intersection. They're giving you more notice.
They didn't put all this up there because, let's waste a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Because something bad's happened here.
Yeah. They want you to stop. Stop.
Right.
Well, I wanted to end on a positive note. So
all right, positive note me.
Here's the last one. Big picture.
I like this one. Drivers were looking ahead, got a big picture, seeing what's going on, see some pedestrians out to the side, starts braking early on this one, thinking that, hey, they may be coming across, and if not, I'm going to let them.
The
So
rule is in or entering the crosswalk, they have right of way. They don't even have to be in the crosswalk yet. They just have to be entering into the crosswalk, and they have right of way.
So the driver does a great job at doing that and recognizing and slowing down, stopping for him. Nice job, driver.
Nice job. Way to recognize those scary ghosts and goblins that are coming up this month, right?
Yeah. Hey, Blake, there was one with tailgating this morning that I think we looked at, a truck tailgating another four-wheeler, and then he pulled over, tried passing, and the four-wheeler didn't get ahead of him.
We'll have that for the 1 o'clock show.
Oh, okay, but
yeah, because I mean, it just goes. So we're talking about it, and so it's that tailgating thing going on there. And this truck was just riding this pickup pole in a trailer. Yeah, pushing him.
Pushing. All right,
so
yeah, we had it for the 9 a.m. truck.
I will tell you that we will have more videos tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
they never stop.
They never stop coming. We always have opportunities to learn ample opportunities to learn right here. All right, everybody. Hey, I hope that everybody has a great and wonderful day, a safe day, and a blessed day here on BCB Live,
the safest station in the nation.
And we will see you tomorrow at noon.
Peace out.